Hello and welcome to the British Dapper, and today we're talking about drab to dapper, transforming your style. So when it comes to style, there are many different versions of that in men's attire. So you might have that person that is quite comfortable, looking quite dull and greyed and very low key in many respects. They might wear muted colours with the suit or with a sports jacket. Then again, you might go to the other extreme and wear very colourful items of clothing. Brightly coloured ties, pocket squares, shirts to complement a suit. And then we have the shoes that go with that as well. So, and depending on the level of formality, depends on the type of colour that we would generally wear. But what I'm trying to talk about today is about, whilst we have all these so-called rules, let's not forget the fact that in this day and age we wear a suit or we wear a jacket or a pair of shoes because we want to, not because we have to in many cases. In fact, those that do wear suits on a regular basis probably only accounts for 5 to 2% of the population of the world in this day and age, whereas 50 or 60 years ago many people wore suits, and probably the figure would have been more like the 70s or 80%. So bearing that in mind, we dress because we want to dress. We dress because we want to enjoy that little bit of extra special effect when we wear our clothes compared to somebody that doesn't try at all. I would always advocate people trying to wear good quality items of clothing, wools, natural fibres over man-made fibres, but the overall and overriding factor that I want everybody to consider is that just making that first transitional step and making that effort, even if it's not executed to its best, is still a step in the right direction and not something that somebody should get disheartened about if they get it wrong. All part of learning is making mistakes and learning from those mistakes, and I've made many over the years when it comes to dressing for special events or wearing a suit, and I've perfected my look over decades of wearing these items of clothes. So that's the investment I'm giving to you, is my experience and my time wearing these items of clothes and my mistakes that I've made and how I've corrected those over the years. So when it comes to wearing a suit, personally, I like to add a bit of colour to it, and I can't really do that in the suit, so I wear some additional items, for example a tie or a pocket square or maybe a coloured shirt, to lift that overall look from what could potentially be a very drab look. And it could be, for example, if we're wearing a dark suit or a grey suit, very easy to look washed out and very plain and bland in your overall look if you choose certain colours that are similar to the suit. Then it does look a little bit dull. So I like to liven it up a bit with a bit of colour. And depending on your level of comfortableness with a certain colour or look, depends on the colours you're going to select. If you've got a favourite colour, then I would always advocate go with that colour, because that is going to give you an uplift every time you look in the mirror and see that colour, because it's the colour that you favour, that you enjoy wearing. So when it comes to a suit, let's dive right in and have a look at adding a bit of colour to a suit. So here we've got a little bit of an Italian vibe. So picked up a tie here, it's a Cecil Jones vintage tie, 100% silk, Italian silk, and pocket square, paisley pocket square, picking up some of the colours and the accents in the tie, albeit in reverse. And we're wearing a charcoal suit, 3-buttoned, nice suit that goes really well with a pair of Italian cut Oliver Sweeney boots. And not a bad look overall, I think. I think you'd like this sort of look for that casual, informal suit wear situation. So you can see from the demonstration there how the tie and the pocket square lifts up what potentially could be quite a bland looking suit with that charcoal grey suit. And we've used some Italian inspired boots that give it a slightly different feel and look and lifts up the overall look. So when it comes to something like separates, we can still achieve the same sort of thing by lifting up that level from that dull, uninspired look to a little bit more of an exciting and vibrant look, albeit still in traditional sense. So here we have a very informal pairing, and we're wearing separates. So on this occasion we're wearing a tweed jacket with a pair of jeans to make it very informal, but we are using a pink dress shirt with this cutaway collar, and it's actually a French cuff, so it enables you to wear a cufflink with that. And we're wearing a very simple brown watch, a brown strapped watch, quite an elegant face to it, so it looks quite elegant with that. We picked up some of the colours in the pocket square to pick up the pink highlights in the pocket square, and some blues to go with the jeans. We've actually paired that with a pair of Loke shoes. They're chestnut in colour, and quite a good informal look and quite a good pairing for that social event that you might just have to pull together at short notice. Very informal meeting for lunch or drinks with friends or work colleagues. Then something like this might be very quick and easy to pull together. And the great thing about separates is their versatility. So we could dress this up if we wanted with a pair of chinos. We could put a tie on with that as well, and we've got a completely different look. We could change the shoes, the colour of the shoes, the pocket square maybe, and you get a completely different look. It's so versatile and covers a number of different options. What I would say, this is one of my go-tos in my wardrobe. So here we have another pairing, and this time we're wearing another type of tweed jacket along with a pair of navy blue chinos, and picked up some of the burgundy hints in the actual jacket, in the actual pocket square, along with some other colours in there just to give it a little bit of a definition, and picking up on some of the colours in the actual jacket. Now we've paired that with a waistcoat, which is quite a nice complementary colour. The waistcoat picks up some of the colours in the actual jacket. Tied that together with a navy blue over check in the actual jacket into the chinos, and we're wearing some dark chocolate Loke brogues to go with that. And overall, although they're separates, again it gives us versatility in what we wear and the combinations we can wear with that jacket. Now I would say that with this we're using an off-white shirt, and we're using a semi-informal watch to go with that. Blue faced stainless steel band, very straightforward. So something to consider about when we've spent all that money on a suit is it's designed, or you've bought it for a specific size that you are. So if you lose weight, you might have to change the suit and go down a size, or if you put on weight you may have to even increase and get a larger size for yourself. So it is one of those things, because if you lose too much weight and you still try and wear the suit, it does look too baggy on you. And the other extreme, it can look too tight. And it doesn't really give you that flattering silhouette. So it's just something to bear in mind when you do lose weight. And something else to consider is that shoes also can actually become quite baggy if you've lost quite a bit of weight, because your feet also change shape as well. So it's just those little details, and that's what makes the difference between drab and dapper. And looking really sharp is really all about attention to detail. So making something that, although contrived, looks quite a casual, relaxed, put together look. But it actually takes quite a little bit of time to plan it out. And obviously the more practiced you are at doing that, the quicker that process will be for you, and you'll be able to pull things together a lot quicker. You'll actually get that eye, if you like, that ability to spot things and pull them together very quickly, purely on practice and time invested in that process. So when it comes to wearing a suit, and we talk about a navy suit, then I like to dress it up a little bit. The problem with wearing a plain blue suit is that if you're not careful, you can gravitate to the red, white and blue combination, that it can look a little bit flag-like almost, too much colour. So maybe tone down the red, maybe change the shirt from a white shirt to an off-white shirt, or an ivory or cream shirt, and you get a slightly different vibe. So here we've used a royal blue Prince of Wales check suit, and quite a casual looking suit, quite a bright colour as well. So we've used a burgundy tie with that, and used burgundy paisley patterned pocket square to go with that on an off-white shirt, rather than using a white shirt that might be a little bit too harsh. But we've paired that with a pair of Lokes black Derby brogue shoes, and a little bit more up on the sartorial level, but still quite a casual feel to it. And the shoes are definitely a good addition to the overall look. Personally, I tend to change my shirt colour for something along the lines of a mauve or a purple or even a pink shirt, to transition from that red, white and blue look. And I think you get a much better look. Remember, purple is the colour of emperors, not just kings. So something along those lines really does elevate your look. So I always gravitate towards a purple of some description or another when I'm wearing a blue suit, or a pink shirt, and maybe pick up some of those accents from the navy and the pinks in the actual tie itself or pocket square. What I would say is, whenever you've got the opportunity to wear a pocket square, I'd recommend you use one. Even if it's just a plain folded handkerchief or pocket square, it does elevate the look, and it does draw the attention to this area here, which is the whole purpose of wearing a tie or a pocket square, is to keep the focus in the chest and facial area when you're talking with people or meeting and greeting people. So here we have another variation. So we're using a blue shirt on this, and this is called a rope striped suit, and very easy to get drawn into that gangster look. So to avoid that, we're using a purple paisley tie, quite bright colours in that. Purple pocket square with some polka dots on it, using a blue shirt to change that look. I think a white shirt or an off-white shirt might be a little bit too much for this particular look. We're using some Oliver Sweeney shoes on this, and they are a burgundy coloured shoe with a medallion, brogued medallion on the toe. They're Italian by design, but they are really lovely shoes. They go really well with this particular look. So one of the key things that I've noticed over the years with people that look quite drab when they're wearing a suit or even a jacket and tie combination is the knot that they use and the way they've executed that knot. So for example, if you've done a Windsor knot but it's been quite baggy where the knot comes together at the pinch point, then it just squares the whole look down the tie. Whereas if it pinches in, so you get that nice V coming down, then it kicks out with a dimple in the blade, you get a completely different vibe from just the knot itself. And I have a video here that I've produced quite a few years ago now, but still relevant today, and it talks about 5 different tie knots. So you're covered for just about every eventuality and every different type of shirt collar that you might come across in day-to-day wear. So it covers the full Windsor, the half Windsor, the Victoria knot, Prince Albert knot and the 4 in hand. So maybe something along those lines might help you change the overall look of wearing that tie. And sometimes I find when I pick a certain tie to wear, sometimes a certain knot it doesn't work, so I have to change the knot. Some shirts and ties favour a different type of knot, and you only know that once you've done it and tried it, and then realise it doesn't work, change the knot, and you get a completely different feel from the look. So I want to move you towards the countryside look now, and here's the idea of a suit made of quite a robust material. This is a McGee suit, and typical colours for the autumn spring period. Quite a thick suit, and I think this is quite a good look, but it has the potential to look quite fogified, if you like, if it's not paired particularly well. So you do really need to think about elevating the tie and the pocket square, and maybe even the colour of the socks to lift it a little bit, and maybe consider wearing a hat with it, but be careful with the hat as well. And it's all about the fit really that will make this less fogified and make it more contemporary and more of the now. So here we have a countryside suit wear, and we're wearing a burgundy tie with a white polka dot on it and a Victoria knot. Picked up the burgundy and the pocket square, but you'll notice the suit has got a brown and green plaid check on it, so it's quite a nice colour for the countryside, and we're wearing some brown brogues with that, and it comes together quite nicely. Even in this day and age you could still wear this and get good results from it when wearing a suit in the countryside. So finally we come on to the introduction of a bit more colour, in that whilst we're going to wear those quite drab colours in the suit, we could lift it up with that change in maybe the shirt colour. And so here's a few examples of changing the shirt and elevating that look to look much more dapper than drab. So in this case we're using a large blue gingham pattern shirt, navy tie, quite a loud shirt, so everything else is muted down to cover for that. or to compensate for that. And we've actually used some light tan brogues with a slight patina on the toe caps. And with that we used the pocket square here, which is picks up some of the blues and gives a little bit of texture and colour to the rest of the ensemble. And quite a reasonable look for a casual setting, and not too formal. Used a stripe tie this time with pink colour going through it along with a red line. Picked up some of the colours in the pocket square with the pinks and the red on the outer edges of the pocket square, and used a pink shirt, pale pink shirt, to give it a little bit of an accent. And I think you'll find that the colours go really quite well together, even though they're quite dark colours in the suit and in the tie, but that pink just gives it a little bit of a lift. So here we've introduced a charcoal suit, and we're still using the pink, light pink shirt, but we've picked up some of the colours in the tie. It's a yellow gold background, but it's got some pinks in there, hot pinks, and some little purples in there. And we picked up some of the purple hues in the pocket square along with the red trim to complement the tie. And although it's a charcoal grey suit, it seems to lift it a little bit and give us a little bit more life with the colour pink in with that grey suit. So one last tip, and that is to consider changing your socks, the colour of your socks, to go with maybe that tie or that pocket square, and elevate that look a little bit. I know contemporaries will say you should wear the same colour socks as you do the trousers, and some will say the shoes, but the next level up in sartorialism is to look at playing with colours in the socks as well. Now, I'm not talking about brightly striped day glow socks or anything like that, but socks that complement the overall look of the outfit. Maybe it picks up a colour in the actual suit. For example, it might have a berry overcheck, so you might wear berry socks, or it might have a blue overcheck and you might wear blue socks with that. And maybe if that's paired with a blue shirt, or for example a blue tie or pocket square, it enhances the overall look. So don't be afraid to play with the idea of different coloured socks, as well as textures in the ties as well. You could go for linen or cotton, and they give a more flat and more matte finish on them, and give a completely different to something like a satin or a silk tie. So there are different finishes that you might have on the actual overall look of the tie. So in that comes down to the materials. Wool, especially knitted ones, gives a much more relaxed and playful vibe, if you like. And whereas if you're wearing something for a more formal occasion, then maybe something along the lines of silk or very fine wool or cotton would give you a very polished look. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give us a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe, then please feel free to do so. We have a Buy Me a Coffee page, so if you'd like to make a contribution to the channel, then please feel free to do so. We also love constructive comments, so if you'd like to make some, jot them down below. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. And if you've got a question you'd like to pose to us, or you'd like an answer to, then why not jot it down? We'll try and answer your question for you. We also like ideas for future videos, so if you want to make a contribution and make a suggestion about future content, then please, again, jot it in the notes below and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. The next video could be something that you've recommended or suggested. So until next time, take care.